Hey, this is me building and strategizing a $2 million a year business in public with a lightsaber. Last month I made $139,000 and next month I want to hit 167,000. This is more or less a day-by-day breakdown of how I'm doing it, fighting the Sith, upholding the Jedi Order and whatnot. Anyway, I got a light pull, so I thought I'd just show that. Let me put it down over here. The way that this works is I break this into 3 steps. The first is I will do some Q&A where I essentially respond to any question you guys possibly have about AI agencies, about how to run this sort of business model, about what I had for breakfast this morning, etc. Then I do growth stats where I cover my growth over the last 24 hours, and then finally I round it out with some live strategy where you guys see what I'm actually building today. So that's pretty fun. This is the main channel over here. We just hit 61,644 subs. That's cool. And then this is the, that is not the daily updates channel. This is the channel that you guys are probably watching right now. That is just under 2,000. So what I'm going to do is go to community, then scroll all the way down to the very bottom, and then just start gunning, start running and gunning. Very first question here is from Iran BP. He says, amazing, Nick. I've watched some of your videos in the last few days. Would like to learn about AI automations from the start of next month after my exams. Can you share with me what I should learn first? Some sort of roadmap would be helpful. Yes, let me vanquish your uncertainty. Just go roadmap to 25K a month with automation. Sorry, go to my Gumroad. This one here. Then go roadmap, 110-step roadmap to 25K a month with automation. Download this puppy. I go through a ton of detail here in this file, and I will literally run you through, and we always have like 10 people on it, which is cool. I literally run you through everything you need to know in order to get up and running with like a basic AI automation agency, okay? So trust the man with the expensive light pole. Head over to this link. We'll talk about how to define your niche, come up with a business name, build 5 case studies, buy your main domain and tertiary domains, and stuff like that. Iran BP. You will know what to do. No problem at all. Check that out. And if you have any questions, let me know. Camber56 says, appreciate the value you're consistently giving out on this channel with the QA. Glad I found it before you've gone to the point where it's unsustainable. Are you kidding me? This is never going to be unsustainable. The only downside I feel is I'm going to miss some golden nuggets if I don't watch these videos. That means less time actually doing. I'm trying to quit gambling, but you're the flashiest slot machine I've ever seen. That's pretty funny, man. Thank you. Can you start making the quality worse? No, the quality is only going to get better. As we see with my lightsaber, I will just continuously improve every day. By the way, if anybody here is like a video person, I don't even know where to put this. My friend just told me to buy one. He's like, everybody's using light poles nowadays. You need to have a light pole. So yeah, feedback, very much appreciated. My okay man says, I guess this type of video is lowering the likelihood of watching your next video. I've been used to high standards in your previous videos. You are at a point where you can focus more on quality than quantity. Thank you very much, my okay man. Cool. Yeah, listen, at the end of the day, I have to take advice from people that have more success than I do in these fields for the most part. Like there's some value to be gained out of people that don't have however many thousands of subscribers I have now giving me advice. Sometimes they can point out my blind spots and stuff like that, but I would not consider that a blind spot. I feel like you're just missing the point of this channel. The point of this channel is for me to wave a giant light pole around the air while answering questions. Maybe you come from like my main channel actually, and you thought this was like a main channel video. That's probably what it is. Maybe I need to make it clearer that this is a daily update channel. Who knows? Maybe there's some silver lining there. But yes, in summary, that opinion is okay, man. Lucas Arc X says, hey Nick, how's it going? First off, I just want to say thanks for all the value and the insights you share. I'm in Moneymakers. I think you meant to say Maker School. And closed a client on day 8, absolutely loving it. Are you the guy that closed $4,200 worth of deals in your first 12 days? I think so. Quick question. Do you just recommend posting content, YouTube, Reels, LinkedIn to get clients? No. If so, at what stage? Never. I'm just kidding. Eventually. And finally, how do you attract actual clients instead of people just looking to learn automation? Again, really appreciate all the value. I paid for multiple 3K mentorships, and honestly, your school community is just as valuable, if not more, than what other gurus would charge that amount for. Yeah, I like to think so as well. I, deliver just a ridiculous amount of value in the 60 or 70 or however much money it is now. I mean, depending on the time that you're watching this video, it might be $3,000. So I'll hold my tongue there. But yeah, to make a long story short, I don't actually recommend posting on YouTube for a while, honestly. I think that the vast majority of people see creators like me post on YouTube, and then they're like, oh, okay, great. Well, that must be how I make money with this stuff. I need to post on YouTube, need to, showcase my systems and stuff like that. I can only do that because I've already had a lot of success selling this sort of thing through cold outreach. And like I basically built a successful business model aside from the YouTube. And then only once I had the cash flow and I had basically like the money to justify throwing my time into a void pit that is YouTube, did I actually start making videos consistently. So I don't know, like I wish there was some number that I could provide you that might be able to provide some more context, like make $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month or something. But generally, I guess if I could sum it up, before you start making videos about a thing, especially when it comes to money, get to the point where you've achieved more than 99% of people at that thing. And then, if you're a standout 1% sort of person, you have some sort of accomplishment or social proof, people will be a lot more likely to listen to you. There's basically 1,000,001 people waving light poles around the internet, talking about shit that they don't really understand. So when you have some sort of demonstrated social proof, when you can say, like I was able to, hey, I made $42,000 a month, and here's how I did it, you tend to pierce through that noise a lot easier. And the key is being able to do so in like a non-braggadocious way, I think, because a lot of people will say stuff like that, but then they'll just come across as really ungrounded and just be a total asshole. So you're not that kind of guy based off of my communications with you in Maker School, man. You're good. Yeah, and I know the multiple 3K mentorship stuff. I mean, it's more about reputation for me than it is just sheer follower count. Well, actually, that's the main point. That's my main thing. I don't really care about the follower count as much as I care about like the strength and the quality of each follower. So I think if I were to quantify, I might be missing some money opportunity here, and maybe I'll shoot myself over this later. But I'm definitely not missing the goodwill aspect. I'm like accumulating more goodwill than basically anybody in the industry by doing this. Okay, great. So thank you very much for giving some advice to the lovely X futures here. Yeah, you definitely get it, bro. Like just given the response there and sort of how you're phrasing things, you completely understand how to play the game. Moby the Whale 3828 says, thoughts on the supply chain / manufacturing / warehouse niche. Their sales cycle seems so long and was wondering if that makes it too difficult to do a we guarantee X in X time sort of guarantee. Yeah, it's definitely tougher for sure. If you're doing some sort of B2B manufacturing and you're building out like, I don't know, like, dude, I was working with this robotic arm company for a while. How crazy is that? Their cycles were like years, right? The thing is though, when you close a contract, you usually have some sort of deposit or you have some sort of amount that like holds the contract, right? So it's not all, the vast majority of the time these days, at least for the clients that I've worked with, it's not like post pay. So you actually do get to deliver an ROI, which is nice. Keep in mind that if you're guaranteeing X in Y time with like a very high ticket business, you want to reduce the quantity of the deals that you are closing for them in that, or generating for them in that amount of time, because it's just ridiculous for you to guarantee, 50 or something like that, because the value of any one individual thing in their pipeline is like 100 times higher than most other businesses, right? Like there was a person in my, in Make Money with Make that I think like a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, on behalf of a client. And I think it was in manufacturing, or it was like some big retail deal or something like that. But anyway, they closed $700,000 worth of a deal with just some cold emails. So think about the value you're driving to that organization if you do a massive, super high ticket thing. Crazy stuff, right? What do you think, Lightpole? Lightpole agrees? Lightpole agrees. WYR Nation says, hey, Nick, just saw you replied to my previous content. What do you recommend for me to start? I feel like I'm lost. I can't find a good AI automation to sell. I was thinking about doing an inbound calling agent for a real estate firm or dentist firm, but I don't know. I just feel so lost. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Yeah. Listen, you feeling lost is okay. It's fine to feel lost. The reality is you just have to like make a move anyway. The vast majority of the time, in order to succeed in like modern entrepreneurship, you basically have to reduce your bar for what constitutes confident enough to succeed and then just do it anyway. So, I mean, maybe 40-ish years ago, 50-ish years ago, when the startup cost of an average business was a lot higher, you have to be a lot more confident that the thing that you were going to do is going to lead to some sort of return on investment, right? But nowadays, you could start an AI automation agency with a couple $100, as I've shown multiple times. You don't really need to be all that confident. The most important thing for you to do is just get going. So it's not that you can't find a good AI automation to sell, to be blunt with you. It's that your bar for what you consider a good AI automation is just too high. Figure out, use some of the blueprints that I've shown you. Figure out the simplest 3 or 4 module system that you can, and then just start selling. Like the biggest enemy here is you. It's not the difficulty of this niche. It's not the real estate firms or the dentist firms or whatever. Inbound calling agent could be great, right? Just honestly, like just put something together and then just start talking to real customers with it. And you can figure out exactly how to modify the system to make it better and more like the high value thing you're probably envisioning later. Okay, Sarcasm says, "Hey Nick, interesting that you don't close on the call. I get the no pressure approach, but for people that are running sometime like an agency with ROI focused strategies, would you still use this approach?" Yes. Prefer sending proposals, but I often don't hear back, so closing on the call has been the norm for me. Yeah, yeah. And then question, curious how you avoid being ghosted with your method. I mean, I get ghosted every now and then, but really not that much. I build really good relationships with the people that get on these calls, right? I think you just put in a ton of time on a prospect with your sales cycle, and to have them just ghost you when you send proposals isn't ideal. So interested in hearing your thoughts. For the most part, like I will do most of the closing like on the call, right? It's just I send the proposal and then I let them sign it later. And if you think about it, the reason why I do so is because I can get a slightly higher closing rate. It's really nice to have this thing to talk to, actually. I can get a slightly higher closing rate on a call if I go hard sales and I push this, like what's stopping you from making this decision? I understand what you're saying, but everything you're telling me so far makes me feel like you need this, right? Would you disagree? You can push a little bit and you can squeeze a few additional percentage points out of a client that way. But like the person that is doing so isn't making a logical decision. They're making an emotional decision when you're on the call because you're pressuring them and you obviously have like your interests aligned with them wanting to sign the deal, right? And so this might get you that deal in the short term, but I find in the long term clients respect me more and they like the way that I approach things when I give them a little bit of space to breathe. And so sure, I might be losing a little bit of money on the front end, but I gain way more money on the back end because people are like, wow, I really like working with Nick. He's no pressure. He's like, it's like magnetic. Like I want to give him money. It's not like he's forcing me to give him money, So I think there's that. I also think that, to be a little more nuanced, when you do my approach, where, it's not all about closing the deal on the call, I just, I backfill a lot of the work onto systems that do like follow-ups and stuff like that, right? So just do like a follow-up every 3 days for the next like 3 months or something like that until they sign the proposal. So I don't know, like a lot of the people that were planning on doing it, but maybe just need a little push over the edge or whatever, they figure that out on their own. And then like the proposal follow-up gets them on like the second week and they're like, hey Nick, so sorry I was buried, but I just signed the thing. I'm really looking forward to getting started. So yeah, like I get it. And just like, I guess keep in mind who you're getting all this advice from, right? Most of the time, the people that do these sort of like high pressure tactics where they try and close on the call, like, I don't know, like just keep in mind who you're getting them from. Like, are they like consultants that are building in long-term recurring relationships with people, or are they selling like usually short-term deals, right? The sales approach that somebody will have to take in order to maximize their revenue on a short-term thing is going to be very different than in my case, a long-term thing, because I prioritize maintaining goodwill, maximize the quality of my relationship and stuff like that. Contrast that with like a car sales dude, like some insurance sales dude, where you're going to talk to him like once a year or whatever, barely for renewals. I don't know, man. Very, very different. Very different. Mohammed Yasser says, loud and clear, how much would you price for an outbound system if we consider that the system increases the show-up rates for the patients? Therefore, recovery from lost revenue. Hold on. Recovered revenue per month. Okay, so outbound system that increases show-up rates for patients. This is an outbound system that increases show-up rates for patients? What are we talking about? Recovered revenue per month, 1 to 3K. Per year, it's 12 to 19K. How are you getting 19K multiplying 3 by 12? Isn't that 36? The system basically sends 2 automated SMS messages to confirm that they will show up. If they don't answer the messages, an outbound call is sent. Thinking about 2 to 3K while I back my price with the math, I don't have social proof. I will tell them, hey, here's how much the system will recover. Here's the price. And I don't think paying 3 for 19K is a bad deal, right? But either way, if it's lower, I will accept. Would you change anything with this approach? P.S. I will follow your how to deliver a project video. No, I see your point. I see your point. No, this is fine. I mean, like, yeah, just walk them through the logic on the 19K. Make sure like they understand and believe it. Don't just like put the numbers in their mouth. Be like, okay, like how much money exactly do you think that's going to save you? Like actually have them sell themselves on it. Don't guide them through the whole thing. So for instance, like in consultative sales, you usually do some sort of ROI calculation. You'll say something like, okay, like, how many, what's the current show up rate? And they're like, oh, I'm not really sure. And it's like, all right, just gut feeling. Let's say you book 10 clients in. how many of those 10 are actually showing up to their appointments? They'll be like, oh, I don't know, like maybe 6. And it's like, wow, so four of them, aka maybe 40-ish% are currently dropping off, eh? They'll be like, yeah. And you'll be like, all right. Man, I wonder how much those cost you. Like, how much is a single customer going to cost you? Like if they actually go through the process. Oh, sorry, how much is a single customer going to net you? Oh, they make me like $1,000. It's like, wow, okay, so like you normally would have made $10,000 off of those 10, but now you're only making 6,000. Is that right? It's like, yeah. And it's like, all right. So you're losing about $1,000 per missed one. All right. I wonder what we can do to improve the probability that they're going to show up. Like actually walk them through it, but don't like force them, like give them the guideposts, but allow them to find their own way to it. And that sort of sales approach just tends to work a lot better for me. So that's what I would do. I wouldn't really call this an outbound system. Like it's an inbound system. You're basically just like improving show up rates, right? So this is just like a setting system, essentially. So just for terminology purposes. I understand that this is technically an outbound call, but I wouldn't call this like an outbound system. Anyway, it seems pretty reasonable. Just try and get these automated SMS messages to like customize. Like try and make it seem like it's not meeting in 5 minutes with blank person, alert. Make it like, hey, Sam, it's Peter. We talked on the phone the other day about insert some AI customized variable here. And I'm just, double checking that you'll be on the call in a few minutes. I may be 30 seconds early, right? Something like that just seems like it's super customized. All right. Last question from the lovely Tyrese4629 saying, hey, Nick, how are you doing? Hope all is well. As someone who is making a lead generation system for real estate agents, how would I productize this? As I don't want to say I can get you a 50 qualified leads guaranteed a month because I'm not certain of this. Thanks in advance. So I think what you have to do is you actually have to get a few leads booked in your calendar using an outbound lead generation system yourself. Because if you don't believe the thing that you're selling, like you're not going to be able to sell it. Like you got to believe in the system. And the great part about this is you get to bootstrap the system by building it for yourself first, learning how it all works, and then using that same system to get clients. It's like a system that like builds itself essentially. So yeah, like if you don't want to say this, and to be honest, 50 qualified leads guaranteed a month is a lot. I don't think I would ever say that. I might do like 10 or something. If you don't really believe this, get yourself some qualified leads first. Watch through my copywriting videos, get to the point where like you do believe this, and then also know that you don't need as high a bar for belief as you probably think. So the benefit to a guarantee is even if you don't deliver the thing that you're telling people you're going to deliver, the downside for them is basically zero, right? Because you just give them their money back or they don't pay or however you've constructed that. Isn't that right, Talking Lightsaber? Yes. Okay, great. So yeah, that's it for questions today. Hopefully that makes sense. Let us do some brand stats. I don't know if I'll be able to do so while holding Betty. That is her name. Let's go over to brand stats. Ooh, man, that graph. Ooh, that is a very chunky graph. March the 23rd. The main channel, what did we say here? 61,644. Only gained 2 in the last 10 minutes. It's sad. That is why you have to consistently post, ladies and gentlemen. Look at how high that was. Look how low this is. But that's okay. I have some good news on that front. I've recorded like 2 videos. Today's going to be my 3rd. 53,595 on my Instagram. So that has gone up by almost 2,000. Part of me thinks we probably have some semi-viral video here, right? Let's see. Yeah, create hyper-realistic AI videos. This one went semi-viral. 129K for sure. Then a couple of these, oh man, I really got to fix that scrapper shit. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, the person that developed the thumbnail just put an extra P in there. Definitely got to fix that. Anyway, yeah, so that's going up. And then this analytics says 1,966. 1966, my favorite year. I'm just kidding. Maybe I should do like a theme where like every day right around this, I find some major event that occurs at my follower number. Okay, no, that probably would not be enjoyable. I was told that I need to make this a little more fun and exciting, hence the lightsaber thing. So, this guy, Jackie Chu, who I've talked about on this channel before, he takes a giant scoop of, okay, Jackie, he takes a giant scoop of creatine every morning. He like wipes the crust from his eyes while doing so. And, his setup's looking much better than it used to. Nice work, dude. Anyway, takes a scoop of creatine, he like dry scoops it, and like that's kind of fun because everybody gets to like cringe with him as he takes it down. Maybe I'll do something with this lightsaber, like wear a General Grievous cosplay or something. Okay, anyway, those are my brand stats for the day, so that's cool. Let's move this over here. And then let me now do a little bit of my strategy. So strategically speaking, here's where I'm at. I put together a ClickUp list, I should say. And what we're doing now is we have a pipeline set up. I have the strategist that's coming up with various ideas. They've written a number of scripts at this point. These scripts are pretty high quality. I've gone through, and there are a couple of changes that I'm going to make to the way that I'm doing this because I found that I don't really like the scripts. I don't really like the script approach, at least right off the bat. Like it reduces the conversational nature of my content. And I think that's really like my main juice there. So, I guess this is going to be strategy. So really, couple things. Like I've recorded a bunch of videos. Go to movies here. It's just a bunch of videos of me wishing my friend happy birthday. I think it's this one here. AI agents versus AI automations. Right. So this is me trying to use my little light thing. Ooh, my hair is looking really sexy in that one. What did I do? Odd. Okay, so yeah, like I recorded a couple of videos here. This one was about AI agents versus AI automation, basically just trying to like make it so that people understand the difference between traditional AI automations and then like what most people are calling AI agents and like what are actually AI agents and whatnot for ROI purposes, of course. But what I'm finding is the first 5 minutes or so should be conversational. Like, the conversational aspect of my content is the main thing that makes me stand out because I'm very articulate and I can get away with not having some super structured, prepared thing. And when I look at the way that like Alex Hormozy, who obviously I look up to a lot, constructs his content, all of his stuff seems very conversational as well. So maybe the whole like super specified line by line script teleprompter thing doesn't make sense. Maybe I need to be a little bit more nuanced and I need to do this intelligently. Like maybe I have some sort of new structure, okay, where I script my hook. Or sorry, let me say teleprompt my hook because I want to have a script regardless. Teleprompter for hook, okay? And then what I do immediately after is I deliver 3 to 5 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes, because my hook's going to be 30 seconds or so. Should be under 30 seconds, I think. Like ideally it'd be 5 or 10. Then I deliver 3 to 4 minutes of some sort of unstructured intro, where it's just me talking off the cuff. And then like I go into structured content. Because presumably I want to maximize the information density, but I don't want the content quality to seem like it's changed materially. So, yeah. And I also want to like minimize the amount of time that I spent. Like I'm basically now into like the process optimization part of my YouTube. Before I was in the like, let's just get as much content out there as humanly possible. Now I want to optimize the process so that I don't need to spend a ton of time doing so, but I could still maximize the quality. If I can get like 95% of the quality of my previous YouTube videos, but I could do so in like a quarter of the time, then that's a great trade-off for me. And I'm more than happy to do so. So here's basically what I'm going to do. Okay. Teleprompter for the hook, 30 seconds. And then I'm going to do this 3 times. Okay, so here's like a line by line item. I'm going to turn on OBS, Open Broadcasting Studio. So I do this using a terminal command here, okay? And I do this using this terminal command because I need to open 2 windows. One for my face cam. So I'm going to record a separate face cam stream. And then another for my screen share, which is what you guys are looking at right now. Okay, you see my face in the bottom right-hand corner like this. And then, you see like the screen over here and I have some cool background inserts. So turn on OBS using my terminal. That's going to be the very first thing I do. The second is I'm going to begin recording on both. The third thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run through hook 3 times. Then I'm going to record, run through hook 3 times, deliver some sort of unstructured lead in with my thoughts on the matter, because, most people only watch up until about 8 minutes of my content anyway, on average. So that way I'm going to get most of those 8 minutes. Then finally, I'll go into, I'll read the rest of the content. And then finally, at the very end, I'll run through CTA 3 times. Then I upload to folder, and then I send to editor in ClickUp. This seems pretty good to me. So, actually, I do have a 0th step. 0th step is go through outline / script at least once. I've found that when I go through the outline or script at least once, the end result, the quality of the content ends up being a lot higher, which is interesting. I guess on some subconscious level, I was just reading about it. So I primed the areas of my brain that are responsible for being able to talk about this thing off the cuff, which helps. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. I think that probably makes the most sense. Go through the outline or scripts to start, turn on OBS using the terminal, begin recording on both, run through the hook 3 times, deliver an unstructured lead in, read the rest of the content, run through the call to action 3 times, upload a folder, send the editor in, using ClickUp. And if I'm smart about this, think about this. This I've now timed. The first time it took 40 something minutes. The second time it took 20 minutes. The third time it took 40 minutes because I was just, had to create some visuals. But let's say on average, this does take me 20 minutes, which I think it will. Okay. The actual recording of the main content here will only take me another 20 minutes. So this is free. This hook thing is going to take me 3 minutes. Call to action 3 times. That's going to take me 3 minutes. Right. And then the unstructured lead in might take me 5 minutes. And then this might take me 10 minutes. Because on average, I read it about 150 to 200 words per minute. This is going to take me 5 minutes. Well, not even. It's going to take me 2 minutes. What am I talking about? Because I'm just going to upload it to the folder and I don't actually have to wait for it to finish. So how much time are we actually looking at here? So that's 30, 33, 38, 30, 41, 43 minutes. So I think it'll be between 30 to 45 minutes realistically of work on my end. And then I just don't really need to worry about it. I think that's the best way to do things. Yeah, I think that's how I'm going to maximize the perceived quality of my content, minimize any disruptions to the content that people have grown to love, and then also still be able to provide high quality stuff. And then with some of the additional time that I have, I can get back to learning. I haven't actually sat down and learned, studied anything in a while. And the industry is changing fast enough that I have to continuously stay on top of things with learning if I am to still be able to provide the highest quality content, I think. It's one thing to do projects for clients, but I've just been doing very similar sorts of projects for clients now for the better part of a year. So sure, I learn insofar that I use slightly different approaches to do my lead gen, month to month, or slightly different systems to build out a proposal generator or whatever. But I'm not actually fundamentally improving my skills. Way back in the day, I used to always set aside, 45 minutes to an hour to study every day, some new thing. And because I did so completely distraction free, and because I'm just, a fast learner, I'm pretty smart. I tended to do much, much more than most other people. I was probably learning 2 to 3x the amount of time that most other people, half to maybe a third of the amount of time that other people would take to learn a thing. I would do so myself. So that enabled me to gain a large amount of knowledge in a very short period of time. So that'll help. And then I can get more to building the actual business as opposed to just working in the business, which is basically what I've been doing, if I'm honest. I've just been maintaining, keeping my head barely above water here. I'm trying not to get flooded by all the work. Yeah, that's the stream of consciousness for today. Hope you guys appreciated the lightsaber. It'd be really cool if one of you handsome individuals told me where exactly to put this. I tried putting it back here. And I liked it because look at you see the side of my face gets kind of illuminated. I think that's technically a backlight or a hair light or a fill or something. That just made my content interesting. I have another light that I haven't turned on there, but yeah, it'd be nice to do that. And then I ordered a new light as well, a new key light. So That's going to be cool. I also ordered a big tripod. But I'd be really curious to hear if any of you guys have setup experience and you guys could like run me through what you think the best setup would look like. That'd be pretty sweet. Anywho, all right, I'm going to leave it at that just so we can cut this under 30 minutes. Have a lovely rest of the day. Thank you very much. And definitely check out Maker School and MakeMoneyWithMake.com if you haven't already. They get those links down below in the description. Cheers.